Hey you guys, so today we're going to be talking about 4 mindsets that might be keeping you poor. So mindset number 1 is lack of accountability. So where are you taking action and responsibility for mistakes in your life? Are you owning up to the places that you've messed up? Owning up to circumstances where you might have indulged in a want or desire and bought something that you didn't need at that time, but then just said like, oh well. And I've definitely fallen for this many times before, but it's about being your biggest advocate because no one else is going to do it for you. You have to be your biggest cheerleader. And if you mess up somewhere, you have to own up to it and understand that you may make a mistake, but you have to create an intentional plan to make sure that in the future you don't make those same mistakes. So if you know you have a desire to like eat out all the time, then what's your plan to make sure that you don't do that so you don't waste your money? That could be meal planning. That could be having a calendar, writing down every single meal that you're gonna have, or making sure you do potlucks at someone's house, but having a way to make sure that you can prevent all of these things from hurting you financially in the long run. Mindset number 2 is the poor mindset versus the rich mindset. This is one that I've fallen for a ton of times too. I'm pretty sure I've done this with every single one. But basically, it's making statements like, oh, I'll never be rich, or the rich are selfish, or being rich is evil. And I've heard those many times before. And the difference is when you have a poor mindset, you are continuously bringing yourself down and giving yourself the idea that you will not amount to the financial success or the financial goals that you want to achieve. And you know what? If you keep telling yourself that, you won't amount to anything because you're going to believe that you're not worth it. And like I said before, you have to be your biggest advocate. So Tyler and I, we want to be millionaires. And sometimes when we tell people that we want to be millionaires and that we're going to be millionaires, they laugh or they give us like that weird look like, yeah, right. And you know, it can be like a little bummish sometimes because we're like, no, like we're going to do it. But you don't need anyone else to believe in you. So instead of phrasing statements like, I'll never be able to afford that, or, oh my God, that's never going to be me, you need to rephrase that into a question with when. When will I be able to afford that? Or how? How can I afford that? Or what? What am I willing to do to be able to reach these goals? Or what am I willing to do to be able to buy these things that I desire? And it's really important that you make sure you don't have these negative statements about yourself that I can't afford anything, or I'm not going to amount to anything, because that's the self-fulfilling prophecy. And as I just said earlier, if you continually bring yourself down and say you won't do something, you won't, because you're not going to have the drive or the desire to do it because you've already set yourself up to fail. The third money mindset is the difference between wanting versus being committed. And this is a big difference because you can want so many things in your life, but whether or not you actually do them is based on your motivation, your desire, and your knowledge on moving forward. And a lot of the times you may want something, but you don't do it because it takes a lot of sacrifice, and you aren't willing to sacrifice these things in order to get there. And that's okay. But you have to realize that you're not going to get what you want because you're not able to make those sacrifices. And if you're okay with realizing that, hey, I'm not really comfortable with doing this, then you have to be okay with the consequences of that action. But if you are committed to change and changing your financial future so you can achieve these goals and live your best life financially, then you are committed. You're willing to make the tough choices. You're willing to make hard sacrifices. And it's not always going to be easy. You might disappoint your friends, might disappoint your family, but in the end, it's your future. It's your goal. It's your life that you want. And you shouldn't have to listen to what anyone else says because it's your financial future and it's not impacting anyone else but you. So if you are committed, that means making sure you have your goals written out or typed out or wherever you need to visualize and see them every single day, and to make sure you're taking the steps to get there. So if you're committed to getting your debt down to nothing and being debt free, are you working an extra job? What are your side hustles? Are you increasing your revenue and decreasing your spending? You want to retire early. Okay, well, how much money are you saving? Is it 3% of your income, 4%? And if you are trying to just reach these goals, you have the motivation and you have the drive to do this. So wanting something, you can want all you want, but until you do action, it doesn't really mean anything. If you're committed that will make you rich, not just in money, but in happiness and contentment and in spirituality. And then lastly, the last mindset that might be keeping you poor is the lack of learning. So say you have the desire that you're committed. Say, I forgot my other mindsets. Say that you do have the rich mentality and that you're going to achieve these goals. And say that you also are accountable and you're holding yourself responsible. Those things are all awesome and they all are integral parts to having your most successful financial future. But they don't mean anything unless you're taking the steps to learn everything you can to improve yourself, to improve your life. So yeah, say you want to be debt free. Okay, well, what are you researching on for jobs? Are you learning how to negotiate your salary to have a higher income so you can therefore put more payments down on the principal and the interest? Say you want to retire early. Are you putting these, like your income, are you putting a certain amount in your Roth IRA, a traditional IRA? Are you putting it in a mutual fund? Like, what are you doing? And if you don't know things, Google everything, watch YouTube videos, ask around. I ask my stepdad a bunch of financial questions because he is he works in sales and he closes multi-million-dollar deals, and I don't understand how he does it. But when I ask him a lot of stuff like, how are you this successful? How do you have all of this money? Like, what is your secret? And he just says to learn everything you can, negotiate, and have the right mentality, because you can know everything, but once again, you have to have the mentality and you have to have the knowledge to back it up. And that doesn't mean you have to know everything, but it does mean that you have to know a little bit in order to get you somewhere. I think someone said it was 80% habit and 20% knowledge. So if you can do that, you're fine. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know there might be more money mindsets out there, but for me, these are the 4 biggest ones. Comment below if you liked it and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.